Hello, loves. President 47 delivered his 2026 State of the Union address at the U.S. Capitol, marking his first full year back in the White House. He used his speech to claim that his return has brought what he called a transformation like no one has ever seen before, and a turnaround for the ages. 47's main message was that America was back on track, and that he would keep putting America first. He said factories, jobs, investments, and trillions of dollars will keep pouring into the United States. Because, in his words, he said the country finally has a president that puts the American workers first. The economy and the cost of living were front and center, because those are still the top concerns for voters. 47 said he's still focused on affordability and went with the claim that he has succeeded in lowering the cost of prescription drugs. Where he says other presidents have only talked but got nothing done. He also highlighted a move on housing aimed at big investors in Wall Street. 47 said he signed an executive order to ban large investment firms for buying up thousands of single-family homes. He urged Congress to make that ban permanent, saying that homes are for people and not for corporations. His speech came days after a major defeat for 47 from the Supreme Court, which struck down his global sweeping tariffs in a 6-3 decision. The ruling said he exceeded his powers under the 1977 emergency law. 47 has publicly lashed out at the justices who ruled against him, including conservative justices such as Chief Justice John Roberts, Neil Gorsuch, and Amy Coney Barrett. On domestic politics, 47 fiercely attacked Democrats on security and immigration. He claimed that the Democrats in Congress have cut off all funding for the Department of Homeland Security and closed the agency that protects Americans from terrorists and criminals. And he demanded that all border and homeland security funding be restored immediately. Crime and public safety was another big theme. 47 said dangerous and repeat offenders are being released again and again by what he called pro-crime politicians. And he promised to keep pushing policies that would keep people with long records off the streets. On foreign and regional security, 47 said he'll make peace wherever he can. But he will never hesitate to confront threats to the United States. He claims that his administration is restoring America, security and dominance in the Western Hemisphere. And he pointed to violent drug cartels controlling parts of Mexico and other areas in the region as a major threat. Throughout the address, 47 wrapped his address in a patriotic and historic language. He linked today's politics back to 1776, saying every generation has defended life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness, and argued that his presidency is part of that ongoing revolution to keep the flame of the American freedom alive. One of the most controversial moments came when 47 singled out Minnesota and the Somali community. He claimed the people from that community have pillaged an estimated $19 billion from American taxpayers, a line already drawing strong criticism, raising concerns about targeting an immigrant group. In the House of Chambers, Democrats used visual symbols and guests to send their message. Members of the Democratic Women Caucus once again wore white, which is a color linked to the women's suffrage movement, to honor the past fights for women's rights and to signal that they are still in a fight today, especially as what they see as new attacks on women's voting rights. Their choice of white outfits also tied into another issue, including oppositions to voting restrictions and concerns around sexual abuse. Many wore pins and symbols related to the survivors of Jeffrey Epstein, the late sex offender, underlining their demand to release more information about his network and to stand with the victims. Democrats also made a statement through guests they invited to sit in the gallery above the chamber, Some lawmakers brought survivors of Epstein's abuse and people affected by 47's hardline immigration policies, and families hit by soaring health insurance costs. This put real faces to policies being debated. At the same time, Democratic leaders tried a different strategy on behavior inside the chamber. House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries encouraged Democrats to remain quiet during 47's remarks or to skip the speech entirely. After past years where some members have shouted or protested loudly during 47's past speeches. However, Ilhan Omar did shout when he made some derogatory comments towards the Somali community. Not every Democrat stayed quiet. Texas Congressman Al Green was eventually removed from the House chamber and forced a conversation about racism and dehumanization in politics. During the speech is the second time in 2 years that he has been removed during 47's address. He held up a handmade sign that read, "Black people aren't apes," making sure it was clearly visible to the president before he was escorted out. Speaking to reporters outside, Green said, "We must take a stand against this level of invidious discrimination." He explained that he wanted 47 to see the sign up close. Green said, judging by the expression on 47's face, he saw it and he got the message, framing his protest as a direct personal challenge. Green's sign was a response to the racist AI-generated video that has circulated online, showing former President Barack Obama and former First Lady Michelle Obama's heads placed on apes' bodies. By bringing that message into the chamber, he tried to call out that imagery publicly. Overall, 47 used his 2026 State of the Union to claim big victories and push his America First agenda, while attacking Democrats on security, crime, and immigration. Democrats answered less with interruptions and more with silence, clothing, and symbolic guests. And moments like Al Green's protest, turning the audience itself into a kind of live rebuttal to 47's message. Let me know what you thought about 47's speech and the protests we saw inside the chamber. Share your thoughts. Let me know.